Hello, everyone, and welcome back to No More Heroes 3. It's time for an actual boss fight this time. Yay! But not this guy, though. A different guy.
I was going to say, it's never this guy. Like, we're slowly getting to this guy.
There is a lot of build up to this boss fight.
Yeah,
sure.
like this is new for the series because I'm trying to think of like who you fought as the final encounters in the first and second games, and you didn't really see them until it was time to fight them.
Yeah.
Did you fight the brother last in No More Heroes 1?
Yes. But that was only if you got the secret ending.
Yeah, but I mean, fair, but that is still like something that the game did build up to. The second game did have like a villain though, right?
Yeah, Jasper
Bat.
Yeah, and you saw him before you...
No, you didn't.
You didn't? Okay, then I'm misremembering that.
Yeah, but we get a lot of scenes with this guy.
Yeah.
I kind of like it, actually. The first game and the second game definitely were more focused on vignettes with the individual personalities of the bosses, which is certainly still here in this game. But we also have something that kind of centralizes the conflict, which is also good. And it also allows for a character other than Travis and I guess kinda Sylvia to have more ongoing character stuff go on, which is a nice change of pace for this kind of game.
I guess as a means of showing that, yeah, we know it's been like 11, 12 years since No More Heroes 2. We're going to come back and we're going to make this one pretty meaty in a sense.
I think there's always some expectation to do that whenever it's been a while since a game came out.
Depends on the game. I think this is about as good a length for a No More Heroes game as it's ever going to get.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a 2D Castlevania, for example, like a 2D classic Castlevania. I don't think they'd want to make it 12 hours just to say, oh, we need to make it big because it's been a while. You know, it should still be a good size for the genre it's trying to go for. I just also think they want to like make games where it's been a long time since the last entry as like grand as they can be, you know, because it's kind of like a coming back sort of deal.
Yeah, more often what I'll see happen is when a franchise is back from a hiatus, when they do come back, they'll just play the greatest hits from before to ease players back into the world that they're returning to.
Yeah, I'm still very mixed on how I feel about that. Because on one hand,
because like on one hand, like what's stopping you from just going back and playing those?
On
games?
the other hand, you don't want
there.
Something like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts where the game changes so drastically. It's like we waited 8 years to not get what we wanted. You know, it's like it's such a hard mix to sort of meet, because you also do want some nostalgia pandering, but you don't want it to be just nostalgia pandering, because then you get like Mario 3D World or whatever. More new Marios.
I would say no, it's like new Mario and Mario 3D Land.
Yeah, 3D World did try a little harder to do more things.
Yes, I would agree.
Bit. Does he have nipples on his chest?
No, he's inside the...
Oh.
Yeah, he's inside of a suit, like a wacky inflatable arm flailing alien man suit. And he is slowly, very slowly making his way towards us.
He's just standing there. Menacingly. This could be a good screensaver, though, with the fish and the swirly background, though.
Yeah, the gradient ocean.
And, like, the ground is moving ever so slightly, so it would even, like, not mess up the bottom of the screen, too.
All right, he's here.
Holy fuck.
We break for nobody.
Suda, the game needs to be 45 seconds longer. What are we going to do? Don't worry, guys. I got this.
Don't worry, I got it. I'm going to take this walk cycle here. Gonna slow it down by like 500%. Yeah, fuck, it's still too fast.
I'm fine, but the younger gamers don't like waiting for shit. And that 5 minutes probably caused a lot of them to scrap this game.
At the very end.
Hey, young gamers. I'm terribly sorry for making you wait.
You don't have to go that far.
And you've probably gotten cold standing out here.
No, it's actually quite pleasant.
Don't worry about it.
It's a very, very slow introduction. Like, I know that's the point, but still.
Yeah, it's...
So even Earth has some good soldiers too.
I'm no fucking
This is an interesting design for a bad guy. Like, he looks... Did any of you ever play Amazing Island on the GameCube?
No.
Game sucks, don't play it. But it has like a character creator. It looks like this guy could be made... Or Spore. Did you guys ever play Spore?
I'm familiar
You
with
could
Spore.
probably make this guy with the Spore character creator.
I didn't come here to shoot the shit with coworkers and
You can do some wacky stuff with Spore, which is why nobody does anything cool with it, and they only make dick monsters.
What else is
Yeah, I
new?
know, right? Give players...
Fucking Nora was visiting me a couple of years ago, and she had our copy of Graffiti Kingdom. It was a PS2 game. It was kind of like Spore in a way, but you can make your own creations. And of course, she had a fucking the what was the name of the dick chariot
Oh,
from
Mara?
Mara? Thank you. And that thing was just flopping around, anatomically accurate.
Dude, here's the thing. The chariot version of him isn't even the worst version of him. Because the version in Shin Megami Tensei Wall, he walks around on the ball sack. Like, the ball sacks are his little legs. It's way worse. Way worse.
Yeah,
for that.
little nubs. Look at him go.
Is he wearing a Hawaiian shirt inside of the... whatever the
I think
fuck
that's
that
just
is?
I have no idea.
It's hard to say what's going on in his shoulder area there.
A physical and a robot.
okay. I think I get it. But I also kind of don't.
Ryan, they
Yes.
changed Travis's voice actor for Travis Strikes Again, right? Is that a thing?
No,
that
they
happened?
didn't. They were going to because it was the actors. There was a strike going on, and then they got him back when that ended.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they were originally just going to go ahead without him, but then
strike ended,
people
so-
bitched enough. Yeah, and the strike ended.
So that works, yeah. Because I know that
Which, I mean, to be fair, like, I can't imagine anyone in the role outside of Robert Ackendowns.
is Travis Touchdown one of those characters like in Devil May Cry or Bayonetta where the characters voiced in English before they're voiced in Japanese?
Just into fight.
I think they're only voiced in
Yeah,
English.
because this takes place in America.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, it's like because Bayonetta did that too. Yeah, you're right. And Devil May Cry. I know Devil May Cry did that too. Like, it's only in English.
yeah.
Yourself, buddy.
Which is a choice. I'm not really sure what the intent behind the choice
Well, I mean-
is, but it is a choice.
I guess over there, it's probably considered exotic.
I mean,
It's like this game is these characters that I made, despite being of Japanese origin, speak English.
Also, Ted, it's your favorite kind of combat, gentleman's
oh,
combat.
turn-based combat. Let's go. Oh man. You guys both played Super Paper Mario, right?
Yes.
But sample the first couple of hours of it. Yeah.
So Super Paper Mario, very mixed bag kind of game. Oh yeah, this is basically just Final Fantasy VII. So you get through the entire game, you play it like normal, and then in like the 7th chapter, there's a boss fight against a Cerberus, but with chain chomp heads, and it just randomly turns into a Dragon Quest styled RPG out of nowhere, where you like use all the characters through menu. It's completely random, but it's also very funny. Oh, this
That was actually one of my
I
favorite-
get what they're doing with the background now. This so is a PlayStation like RPG.
It is kind of like
background.
an RPG boss battle
Yeah.
arena. Yeah.
Like,
The fish, I don't get the fish, but
I mean, it certainly fits the
what are they
aesthetic.
censoring?
I had been totally blind to that. I never noticed. You know, but what I think really hard about it, I think it did so
One of my favorite well, a favorite, I guess, but neat boss battles that I ran into in like Kirby Superstar was the RPG
Yeah. Yeah, that one's
encounters.
pretty neat. And they like bring elements of that back all the time, like whenever you fight the robots and you get the RPG damage values.
Yeah.
Two things. Everyone and their mom seems to worship. And at the same time, the characters do look shit. Nobody's at fault here. Not even
I don't get what they're doing here.
I think they're trying
I
to make
think
fun of
they're just
RPGs in general.
Just RPGs in general, like how it takes forever for the battle to get started because of a cutscene.
Or how all the designs look weird.
Yeah. Which, you know, is a joke, but at the same time, this cutscene has been going for like 6 minutes.
That's sort of the point. Yeah,
Okay.
that's Suda for you.
Yeah, it's just that, you know, I'm always of the belief that if you play a trope so painfully straight, you are not really mocking anything. You're just playing the
That's
trope.
why that's one of my big problems with Earthbound. In that Earthbound doesn't really feel like a parody of an RPG. It just more feels like it's an
bad
RPG with weird characters, you know? Because it's like in Earthbound, they never like really make fun of anything as far as I can remember. Granted, it's been a long time. But it's just like you just kind of do the stuff they want you to do.
Yeah, it's kind of a... outside of... what the fuck was the name of the alien?
Gygus,
right?
Ronald
And Porky every once in a while. Earthbound, from what I remember, is just random events plot. Like, shit just happens as you go from town to town. And, like, that can have appeal, but that's not what I look for in an RPG, personally.
Yeah,
I like continuity. I like cause and effect. And I don't remember that happening with Earthbound.
Yeah, so, like, I'm just more thinking about in the terms of parody or satire. Like, satire has a point. Parody has a point in that this shit is dumb. Let's laugh. That's my extremely academic definition of both of those things. I never really found that Earthbound was making a point about anything in terms of RPGs. It was just doing RPGs with a weird setting. And granted, that can still have appeal for sure, but it's not a parody.
It was continuing something that I believe the first Earthbound game did, which was, what if a bunch of kids were actually having an RPG adventure? Like if it was like a backyard play date sort of thing. Like I think that was the entire point between the first and second games. It's just that to me it lost appeal pretty soon. And the wacky randomness of it didn't really satiate my my taste buds for that long.
I mean, there certainly is a lot of appeal in that. Because, like, I definitely did that as a kid. We, like, played Pokemon in the backyard and whatnot. There's actually a game that I think that's coming out that I think, and granted, this is also coming with 20-plus years of technology afterward. There's a game that came out called Little Gator, which is basically just this kid playing Zelda in his backyard, but he like built an entire like RPG world to explore in for himself with like cardboard cutouts of enemies and different things like that, which looks really cute. I haven't played it yet, but I think that's going for the vibe they were going for more accurately, I guess. I don't know. Is this...
You seem to be doing 777 damage every time.
As long as I do the magic thunder.
Okay.
And yes, there's
is that his weakness?
Well, it's more or less the only thing you can do because everything else doesn't really work well. It's a parody of RPGs where there's really only one way to fight the boss correctly.
I mean, that's usually my least favorite type of RPG is when there's only one way to do the boss fight. Or in that, I guess I should reframe. I don't often mind when there's a puzzle element to the boss, like trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. With that said, it is often really annoying when the one way you're supposed to do the boss fight is the only way to do it, and they're...
Don't worry, you're not losing this.
Yeah, it's like
there's an actual boss fight after this. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Because I feel like especially with the way this game has gone so far, they've always had a real boss fight even after they've done stupid shit.
See, I haven't played this game still to this day, and I can already see this being my least favorite boss fight in the game. If only because regardless if there's a proper boss fight after this, you still have to do this on repeats.
Yes.
And at that point, the jokes run dry. And when it starts affecting the replayability of it for future visits, that's when I have issues.
And that's,
I'm thinking of like this right here, a good laugh the first time. Afterwards, like,
I mean, maybe this is also just me, but I feel like this is nothing that the Final Fantasy VII Legendary Frog cartoon about the random battles didn't already do.
Yeah.
Like, that's a funny parody of RPGs, because
I'll interject real quick. To be fair, that Flash cartoon is almost 20 years old.
Yeah, I know, and that's part of why I don't think this rings true, because it's a 20-year-old joke. You know?
Well, my point for that was you have to think we're not spring chickens anymore either. You got to think of the younger generation before that. They likely have never seen that because they were just babies when that cartoon was made. Those babies are now in their early 20s.
Or going to college.
Fuck
Yeah.
you.
So they likely never saw those kind of jokes before. And this might be their kind of exposure to like mocking or parodying old RPG tropes, which is why I did it in the first place.
I would normally agree with that. First off, fuck you. You make me feel old.
I only speak the truth.
I feel like they mentioned like that in the first cutscene though about all the young gamers and whatnot. This game definitely does appeal to a 30-year-old and older kind of crowd, like people who were teenagers and older when the first game came out.
Yeah,
but that is true. Yeah. I just freaking love that Legendary Frog cartoon, man, where he just moves his arm and then that starts a random encounter. Like, that's funny.
Where the random battles cloud.
It's one thing that I've been having to find myself like actually thinking about more as you get older, where whether it's movies or cartoons or video games, you've seen these kind of tropes or beats time and time again because you have been exposed to so many stories throughout your years of living. But at the same time, you're not realizing, oh yeah, but like the 10-year-olds or 12-year-olds are also playing this, don't have that baggage. So to them, this is all new. And I feel sometimes it's easy to not think about that part and only think about your personal experience on why this may be tired out.
It depends on the target demographic of what they're going for. Like,
absolutely,
this is obviously going for an older crowd, so it's fair to do things the way they're doing for making fun of the RPGs, because the target audience will get it.
Yeah.
Whereas, say, a kid's show doing a turn-based JRPG battle in Final Fantasy VII style may not get it.
There is actually a joke about that in, I think it's Steven Universe early on. Like, there's like, he plays basically a Final Fantasy VII style game all night, and they do have some pretty, like, old style RPG jokes in that. I
forget which. I think it's Chowder, where they do something similar. And like the neighbors are NPCs and they can't move and they're like struggling to try to break out their one line of dialogue. And the kids just like ransack their house for materials and stuff, and it's just like his eyes are tearing up because he can't stop them.
Because he can't stop them.
They've been doing those kinds of jokes,
that's pretty cool.
though, ever since like the 90s. There's a
for years.
Show in Japan where characters are the main characters literally dressed up as the Dragon Quest V protagonist. And all of the monsters are made out of like paper mache Dragon Quest monsters, and it's just an RPG parody. Like at one point they break into people's houses, they steal their shit, they make fun of the NPCs saying the same things. So the RPGs are very easy to make fun of, I guess is the thing. I guess maybe just the thing that I'm looking for is maybe. And maybe this isn't the game for it, but I'm also kind of hoping that new games would get parodied in these sorts of major media things, like not online things. Because we saw that in media that was contemporary when we were young. Like, I still remember there's a Powerpuff Girls episode where the mayor is playing a Zelda knockoff.
No, it is.
And he's
just,
annoyed
it is
at
Zelda.
he's annoyed at Navi just like everybody else was annoyed at Navi back in the day. And it's just like, you don't see that kind of thing on TV really anymore. The closest thing I can think of is in Avengers Endgame, Thor's playing Fortnite, but they weren't making fun of Fortnite. The joke was that Thor was playing Fortnite. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just old and not seeing these things.
I think a part of it is just like we can't possibly be in touch with everything that is contemporary nowadays, especially with like cartoons and shit like that, unless that is your prerogative.
As this goes against ranking battle rules, you will be stripped of the number
Wait, why the hell did she get? When did she get a Mass Effect suit? Oh, is he pissed off we killed his friend?
No, he pulled it. He pulled a Nappa, basically.
recognized as number 2 in the
It was like Frieza more than anybody else.
Next up is the final battle against
Also, I don't remember what movie they're parodying with her eyes here.
number 2 was Paradox Bandit, but Prince Fu killed him. Down inside.
I'm distracted by the glowing eyes.
Yeah, I know, and it's a,
like that's what I'm trying to pull the reference from.
It's a reference to something, but I can't remember what.
Watchmen, maybe?
He is scared of
Because Dr. Manhattan's eyes are like that in Watchmen, aren't they?
Yeah, but the suit though, the suit's very Mass Effect.
He is waiting for you at Demon Tower.
I'm too much of a coward to call it Demon Tower. Fine, I'll do it the second
Yeah,
way.
they
What's
lose
Demon?
they lose their 4Kids license if they call it Demon Tower, which is why.
Actually, what if it's just what were they thinking too hard? What if it's just an Evo reference?
With that kind of technology, I could have come to this planet without full armor.
This play of slaughter enters the final act.
Well, we have 2 more bosses, so
Yeah, it's who do we fight for the not number 2 spot then?
Go round
we'll have to see.
round again.
Damn it, you and your mystery.
Almost forgot. It's
You'll have to watch the next part to see and find out.
sorry, gotta go.
Sylvia, I need
Giving the audience a reason to tune into the next part?
What are we doing? Professional stuff?
What are you fucking cuck?
Travis, she's your wife.
No,
You literally have
I
her
want to
phone
talk
number.
about it
Just call her.
now.
So yeah, that was Sonic Juice. A little long in the tooth.
Part
Gross.
of this balanced breakfast.
Yeah. This is some of the same makers of that G Fuel shit.
So we jumped up to number 2. Yay.
You know, it would be funny if they ever did a joke in one of these games where you get knocked back down. A few.
Fuck, man. I'm in a Gradius mood because the font they use for that high score is the exact same font they use for Gradius.
I've never been able to really get into side-scrolling shooters like Gradius. I've tried.
Do you
Oh,
prefer
I love
top
them.
down or?
Top downs are okay. I don't know. Something about the way that like shmups work, I just don't find it as satisfying to kill the enemies, I guess, as opposed to something either melee based or like if there's like, because Metal Slug, I love Metal Slug, but that's because the weapons in that game really feel like they have a punch. I just never really felt like that for games like Gradius. I don't know.
Did you hear the original developers of Metal Slug are making a new shmup?
A new shmup?
Really?
That's interesting. Like a space shooter shmup?
No, like a Metal Slug shmup.
Okay. Aren't they making a Metal Slug Tactics game?
Yeah, but that's SNK, not the original developers of Metal Slug.
That's okay. I did not know that actually. Now I gotta look that up. Do you know what it's called?
I'd have to relook at the news article.
All right. Well,
Find out next time in No More Heroes 3.
man, I love talking about Metal Slug and No More Heroes.
Metal Slug, absolutely.